He started selling matches door-to-door at age 5 in rural Sweden to earn pocket money. At 17, he registered a company called IKEA with $25 from his father. He was dyslexic, struggled in school, and nearly went bankrupt when Swedish furniture makers banned him from trade shows. Today, IKEA generates $50+ billion annually in 430 stores across 50 countries. This is how Ingvar Kamprad built the world's largest furniture retailer from absolutely nothing. Ingvar Kamprad didn't come from wealth, education, or industry connections. He was a dyslexic farm kid in rural Sweden who sold matches and pencils to neighbors, started a mail-order business from his bedroom, and revolutionized furniture retail through flat-pack designs and self-assembly. But Kamprad's genius wasn't design or manufacturing. It was understanding that people would sacrifice convenience for affordability, and that eliminating retail markup through direct-to-consumer sales could build massive wealth. His journey from match seller to one of Europe's richest people worth $60 billion proves that solving basic problems, expensive furniture, with simple solutions, flat boxes, creates extraordinary value. Pjätteryd Ingvar Kamprad was born on March 30, 1926, in Pjätteryd, a small farming village in Småland, Sweden. His family were farmers. His father, Theodor Sr., managed a small farm called Pjätteryd near the village of Pjätteryd. The family wasn't poor by Swedish standards, but they had little money. Rural Sweden in the 1920s-1930s meant hard work and modest living. Kamprad showed entrepreneurial instincts from early childhood. At age 5 in 1931, he started buying matches in bulk from Stockholm, 100 boxes for very cheap, then selling them individually door-to-door to neighbors at a markup. He made small profits that seemed huge to a 5-year-old. This was his first business. Kamprad was dyslexic, a learning disability that made reading and writing extremely difficult. School was torture. He couldn't read textbooks easily, struggled with written exams, and felt stupid compared to other students. Dyslexia wasn't understood in 1930s Sweden. Teachers thought Kamprad was lazy or unintelligent. He wasn't, his brain just processed information differently. But Kamprad excelled at math and business thinking. He could calculate profit margins mentally. He understood supply and demand instinctively. He loved buying things cheap and selling them for profit. Throughout his childhood, Kamprad sold various items door-to-door: fish, Christmas decorations, seeds, pencils, pens. He was relentless at finding products to sell. At age 17 in 1943, Kamprad's father gave him a monetary gift for performing well in school despite his dyslexia. The gift was approximately 250 Swedish kronor, about 25 United States dollars at the time, roughly $450 today. Kamprad used this money to register a business. He called the company IKEA, an acronym combining his initials, Ingvar Kamprad, with the farm where he grew up, Pjätteryd, and the nearby village, Pjätteryd. IKEA, the name was registered in 1943. Kamprad was 17 years old and still living on his family's farm. IKEA started as a mail-order business selling small items: pens, wallets, picture frames, watches, jewelry, nylon stockings, anything Kamprad could source cheaply and sell for profit. He advertised in local newspapers and catalogs, offering products by mail. Customers sent money. Kamprad mailed products. The business was tiny. Kamprad ran it from his bedroom on the family farm. He stored inventory under his bed and in closets. He packed orders himself and took them to the post office. His mother sometimes helped with packaging. Revenue in the first years was modest, maybe a few thousand kronor annually, but it was profitable. Kamprad's advantage was low overhead. He had no rent, lived at home, no employees, and no retail space. He bought products wholesale and sold them at retail prices, keeping the markup. This direct-to-consumer model eliminated middlemen, allowing Kamprad to undercut retail store prices. By the late 1940s, IKEA was growing. Kamprad added more products: toys, stationery, watches, and other small goods. He expanded his catalog distribution and started employing a few part-time workers to help with packing and shipping. Annual revenue reached tens of thousands of kronor. In 1948, Kamprad added furniture to the IKEA catalog, a decision that would transform the company. He partnered with local furniture manufacturers who supplied chairs, tables, and cabinets. Kamprad listed these in his catalog at low prices. He negotiated bulk discounts from manufacturers and passed savings to customers. Furniture sales exploded. Customers loved buying furniture by mail at prices significantly below retail stores. Kamprad quickly realized furniture was far more profitable than pens and picture frames. The markup was better, the demand was enormous, and established furniture stores charged high prices that left room for a discount competitor. In 1953, Kamprad made a revolutionary decision: stop selling non-furniture items and focus exclusively on furniture. IKEA would become a furniture-only company. This specialization allowed Kamprad to develop expertise, negotiate better deals with manufacturers, and build brand identity as the low-cost furniture provider. But traditional Swedish furniture manufacturers hated Kamprad. He was undercutting their retail prices dramatically. Furniture stores relied on high markups, typically 100 to 200% above wholesale cost. Kamprad was selling at 30 to 50% markups, making furniture affordable to working-class Swedes. Swedish furniture manufacturers formed a cartel and banned IKEA from furniture trade shows. They pressured suppliers to stop selling to IKEA. They spread rumors that IKEA furniture was poor quality. They tried to destroy Kamprad's business through collective action. Kamprad faced a crisis. If Swedish manufacturers wouldn't supply him, IKEA would collapse. He needed a solution. In 1955, Kamprad made a decision that saved and transformed IKEA. He would design furniture himself and manufacture it outside Sweden. He traveled to Poland, which had cheaper labor and manufacturing costs than Sweden. He found Polish manufacturers willing to produce furniture to his specifications at low prices. Kamprad designed simple furniture that was easy and cheap to manufacture. Basic tables, simple chairs, utilitarian shelves, nothing fancy, but functional and affordable. Polish manufacturers could produce these at 40 to 60% lower cost than Swedish manufacturers. This vertical integration, designing and controlling manufacturing rather than just retailing, gave Kamprad complete control over costs and quality. It also freed him from dependence on the Swedish furniture cartel. In 1956, Kamprad had another breakthrough idea that would define IKEA forever: flat-pack furniture. The story, possibly apocryphal but widely told, is that an employee named Gillis Lundgren was trying to fit a table into his car after a photo shoot. The table didn't fit. Lundgren unscrewed the legs, laid them flat, and the table fit easily. Kamprad immediately saw the genius. If furniture shipped unassembled in flat boxes, shipping costs would plummet. A truck could carry 10x more flat boxes than assembled furniture. Shipping costs per item would drop 80 to 90%. IKEA could pass those savings to customers, further undercutting competitors. Flat-pack also meant customers could transport furniture themselves in cars. No expensive delivery trucks needed. And because shipping costs were lower, IKEA could sell to customers nationwide, not just locally. The downside: customers had to assemble furniture themselves. This was unprecedented. Furniture stores delivered assembled furniture. Kamprad was asking customers to do the work. Would they accept it? Kamprad bet yes. If the price was low enough, people would sacrifice convenience. He was right. Customers loved saving 30 to 50% on furniture even if they had to assemble it. Flat-pack became IKEA's defining feature. In 1958, Kamprad opened IKEA's first showroom in Älmhult, Sweden. Unlike traditional furniture stores where customers ordered from catalogs and waited weeks for delivery, IKEA's showroom displayed assembled furniture that customers could see and touch. If they liked it, they picked up flat boxes from the warehouse, took them home, and assembled them immediately. This showroom warehouse model was revolutionary. It eliminated delivery costs entirely, reduced inventory costs, flat boxes stack efficiently, and gave customers instant gratification. The first Älmhult showroom was massive, 6,700 square meters, displaying hundreds of furniture items. The Älmhult showroom was phenomenally successful. Thousands of Swedes visited to buy affordable furniture. Revenue exploded from hundreds of thousands of kronor annually to millions. By the early 1960s, IKEA was Sweden's largest furniture retailer. Kamprad reinvested profits into expansion. He opened additional showrooms across Sweden. He expanded manufacturing partnerships in Poland and other Eastern European countries with low labor costs. He developed the IKEA catalog, a massive free catalog mailed to millions of Swedish households showcasing all products with prices. The IKEA catalog became legendary. It was Sweden's most widely distributed publication after the Bible. Families would spend hours looking through the catalog. Planning furniture purchases. The catalog gave IKEA enormous marketing reach with minimal cost. Printing and mailing were cheap compared to traditional advertising. In 1963, IKEA opened its first store outside Sweden, in Oslo, Norway. International expansion began. Kamprad saw that IKEA's model, cheap furniture, flat pack, self-assembly, showroom warehouse, could work globally. Furniture is universal. Everyone needs it. IKEA could replicate the Swedish success worldwide. In the 1960s-1970s, IKEA expanded across Europe, Denmark, Switzerland, Germany. Each country followed the same model. Massive showrooms displaying assembled furniture, warehouses with flat-pack boxes, self-service, rock-bottom prices. The model worked everywhere. Europeans loved affordable furniture. Kamprad also developed IKEA's distinctive Scandinavian design aesthetic: simple, clean, minimalist, functional. IKEA furniture wasn't fancy or luxurious, but it looked modern and worked well. The design became IKEA's brand identity. In 1973, IKEA opened outside Europe for the first time. A store in Spreitenbach, Switzerland, followed by expansion into Germany, Australia, Canada, and eventually the United States. Global expansion was Kamprad's obsession. He believed IKEA could become the world's largest furniture retailer. But international expansion faced challenges. Different countries had different furniture preferences, building codes, and consumer behaviors. Americans wanted larger furniture than Europeans. Japanese apartments were tiny. Australians preferred different aesthetics. Kamprad's solution: adapt products to local markets while maintaining the core model, flat pack, self-assembly, low prices. IKEA developed country-specific products while keeping the business model identical globally. In 1985, IKEA entered the United States with a store in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia. The US was challenging. Americans were skeptical of self-assembly furniture, and IKEA's minimalist Scandinavian aesthetic seemed strange. Early use stores struggled. But IKEA persisted, adapting to American preferences. They increased bed and furniture sizes. Americans wanted king beds. Europeans slept in smaller beds. They adjusted product offerings. By the 1990s, IKEA was thriving in the US. By 2000, IKEA operated approximately 150 stores worldwide, generating approximately $10 billion annually. Kamprad's strategy was working globally. The farm kid from rural Sweden had built an international empire. Kamprad's personal wealth grew enormously but remained largely hidden. He structured IKEA through a complex network of foundations and holding companies based in the Netherlands and Liechtenstein to minimize taxes. The Stichting Inca Foundation, based in the Netherlands, owned the IKEA group. Kamprad controlled the foundation but technically didn't own IKEA directly. This structure meant Kamprad avoided billions in taxes and made his exact wealth difficult to calculate. Estimates in the 2000s-2010s placed his net worth between $30 to $60 billion, making him one of Europe's richest people. But Kamprad lived modestly despite his wealth. Kamprad was famously frugal, almost comically so. He drove a 20-year-old Volvo. He flew economy class. He stayed in budget hotels. He shopped at flea markets for clothes. He reused tea bags. He ate at IKEA restaurants, taking advantage of cheap Swedish meatballs. This frugality wasn't an act. Kamprad genuinely believed in avoiding waste. He'd grown up in rural Sweden during economically difficult times. Frugality was ingrained. But his extreme cheapness also served business purposes. It set a cultural example for IKEA employees about cost consciousness. Kamprad was also controversial. In 1994, a Swedish newspaper revealed that Kamprad had been a member of a Swedish pro-Nazi organization in his youth during the 1940s. Kamprad was 17 to 18 years old during this period. He admitted his involvement and called it the greatest mistake of his life. He said he was young, stupid, and influenced by a charismatic mentor who was a Nazi sympathizer. The revelation damaged Kamprad's reputation, but IKEA's business wasn't significantly affected. Kamprad apologized extensively and pointed to his later life. He'd hired Jewish employees, opposed anti-Semitism, and built a global company that valued diversity. Most people accepted his apology as sincere. In 1986, Kamprad stepped down as IKEA CEO but remained deeply involved in strategy and culture. He moved to Switzerland in the 1970s-1980s, reportedly for tax reasons. Switzerland had lower taxes than Sweden. He later returned to Sweden in the 2010s. By 2010, IKEA operated approximately 300 stores in 40 countries, generating approximately $25 billion annually. By 2018, over 400 stores in 50 countries, generating approximately $45 billion annually. IKEA became the world's largest furniture retailer by enormous margin. IKEA's success came from relentless cost control. The company squeezed costs everywhere: manufacturing in low-cost countries, flat-pack shipping, self-service warehouses, minimal staff, self-assembly. These cost savings translated to prices 30 to 60% below competitors. IKEA also mastered the showroom experience. IKEA stores became destinations, massive buildings, often 300,000 plus square feet, with elaborate room displays showing how furniture looked in homes. Customers wandered through aspirational room setups, then picked flat boxes from warehouses. The experience was part shopping, part entertainment. The company also developed the IKEA effect, a psychological phenomenon where people value items more when they assemble them. Customers who built their own IKEA furniture felt proud and attached to it, creating brand loyalty. Ingvar Kamprad died on January 27, 2018, at age 91 in Småland, Sweden, near where he'd grown up. His 3 sons inherited control of IKEA through the foundation structure. At his death, Kamprad's wealth was estimated at $60+ billion by some estimates, though exact figures were impossible to determine due to IKEA's complex ownership structure. Ingvar Kamprad's success came from 3 principles that revolutionized furniture retail. First, eliminating markup through vertical integration and direct-to-consumer sales. Kamprad designed furniture, controlled manufacturing, and sold directly to customers through showrooms. This eliminated wholesalers, distributors, and retailers who each added 50 to 100% markups. IKEA captured all margin, allowing 30 to 60% lower prices. Second, trading convenience for affordability. Flat-pack self-assembly was inconvenient, but customers accepted it for huge savings. Kamprad understood that for most people, saving hundreds of dollars justified spending hours assembling furniture. This insight that convenience has a price and many people won't pay it built billions. Third, relentless cost obsession. Kamprad squeezed costs everywhere. Manufacturing in Poland and Asia, flat-pack shipping, self-service, minimal staff, budget showrooms. Every 1% cost reduction meant lower prices or higher margins. This cost discipline became IKEA's cultural foundation. But Kamprad's legacy includes controversies. His Nazi youth organization involvement, which he admitted and apologized for. Aggressive tax avoidance through Dutch and Liechtenstein structures. Legal but ethically questionable. And criticism that IKEA's ultra-low prices came from exploiting workers in developing countries. Ingvar Kamprad started selling matches door-to-door at age 5 in rural Sweden. At 17, he registered IKEA with $25 from his father. He was dyslexic, struggled in school, and nearly went bankrupt when Swedish furniture makers banned him from trade shows. He revolutionized furniture through flat-pack designs, self-assembly, and direct-to-consumer sales. He opened massive showroom warehouses where customers picked furniture and assembled it themselves. He manufactured in low-cost countries and passed savings to customers. IKEA grew to 430-plus stores in 50-plus countries, generating $50+ billion annually. Kamprad's wealth reached $60+ billion, making him one of Europe's richest people. Yet he drove a 20-year-old Volvo, flew economy, and reused tea bags. The match-selling farm kid who couldn't read well built the world's largest furniture empire by understanding that people will sacrifice convenience for affordability, and that eliminating middlemen creates extraordinary value. That's not luck. That's solving a basic problem. Expensive furniture with a simple solution: flat boxes and Allen wrenches.